The scene starts with Linda and her friend Patsy enjoying in the backyard of their home. Through the conversation, it is revealed that 21-year-old Linda has never slept with a man. Soon after, Linda's mother Dorothy arrives and breaks up their sunbathing session because she doesn't like seeing her daughter sunbathing without her covering her chest. While playing roller skate, Linda and Patsy find something lacking in the appearance of the night's accompanying band. With the permission of the owner, the two girls trek to the stage and dance along to the rhythm of the music. The performance of the two friends attract the attention of a stranger, a man named Chuck Trainer, who is captivated by Linda. Offering her a cigarette, he introduced himself to Linda and Patsy, who were then ready to go home. After being interrogated by the overprotective and strict parents, who prohibited them from going to the party unless they returned home by a certain time, Linda and Patsy went to the party that night. Linda's main purpose of being there was to go on a date. Chuck, who was Linda's date, was able to soften the girl's heart in receiving several kisses thanks to his smooth talking skills. Before her relationship with Chuck became distant, Linda revealed her past, including a pregnancy out of wedlock. The baby was sent to an orphanage for adoption. Hearing about his girlfriend's strict and rigid parents, Chuck even asked to meet them at a dinner. Since Linda's father John was a soldier, it was easy for Chuck to start a conversation with him. His experience as a Marine and now running an entertainment business made it easy for him to be accepted by Linda's family. Later, Linda said goodbye to her parents to go to the movies, but instead, she slept with Chuck. This was why Linda was late in returning home and received a hard slap from her mother. Without hesitation, Dorothy immediately contacted Chuck to take Linda away from that home. Her mother wanted the couple to get married as soon as possible. After living with Chuck, Linda discovered the truth that Chuck's entertainment business was not running as it should. The place was only used by Chuck to promote adult film produced with his friends. However, as she was already in love, Linda doesn't care. A few weeks later, she had already become Chuck's wife. 6 months later, while cleaning the house, Linda was called by Chuck, who asked to be picked up from jail after losing contact with her husband for several days. According to Chuck's confession, the entertainment place he managed actually had an hidden business, providing escort services. Because his business was known to the police, Chuck had to come up with another idea to make money. Initially, Chuck's friends didn't believe that Linda had a hidden talent as an adult film star. But after watching the hot video of Chuck and his wife, they changed their minds. With sweet talk, that day, Chuck successfully brought his wife to the shooting and met the producer named Antonio Romano. Seeing Linda so nervous on her first day of shooting, her co-star Harry approached the beautiful woman and gave her some advice. According to him, their job is indeed controversial, and what Linda needs to do now is ignore the negative views of the public. Although she appears stiff in front of the camera at first, Linda gradually found her rhythm and acted well enough for promotional needs. Under the professional guidance of the cameraman, Linda was able to show her best poses for the promotion of the film. Linda couldn't hide her feelings of pride when she saw how beautiful she was in the film poster that would be distributed later. On another day, Chuck had to comply when the producer preferred to use Linda Lovelace's name over Linda Trainer. In a short time, Linda's film was a huge success and earned more than $30,000 in its first week of release. That was also accompanied by Linda's growing popularity. With her face and voice almost daily appearing in the media, a well-known male adult magazine publisher convinced Linda that she had more potential than just a blue film star. 6 years later, in order to write her memoir, Linda had to undergo a lie detector test. Through some question, it was revealed that Linda's life was not as smooth as the public had imagined. Since the first day of her marriage to Chuck, Linda had to face her husband's defiances, who turned out to be frequently abusive in bed. To make matters worse, Chuck also sold Linda to wealthy men and used the money for their daily needs. What was even more heartbreaking was that when Linda desperately needed protection, her mother scolded her and ordered her to go back to Chuck. Dorothy believed that Chuck would not have been abusive if the problem did not come from Linda herself. As a result of Linda going back to Chuck, his plans to make her adult film star became even success. Despite her widely successful film, Linda never knew how much she earned. Linda's entire earnings were controlled by Chuck, who only gave her a little money for food. Even using Linda's big name, Chuck dared to borrow money from the producer of the film starred by his wife. How Linda was struck when she heard her father's admission that he felt sad after watching her daughter's film. John seemed to not recognize Linda from when she was a child anymore. Linda's condition worsened when Chuck sold her again to a film producer who that night intended to taste Linda's body along with his friends. The next morning, Linda complained to Antonio Romano that she had been abused by Chuck. Linda also added that she had no idea about the money borrowed by Chuck to the producer of her first film. Meeting Antonio Romano seems to be the right decision for Linda. Not long after that, he immediately gave Chuck a lesson and warned him to stay away from Linda. A few days after taking the lie detection test, Linda thought that her biography could be published. Through the book, the public finally learned about Linda's troubled past, who is now married to another man and has a child. At Linda's childhood home, her parents could only cry when they watched the talk show attended by their child. Linda said that she only followed her husband's orders, as taught by her parents. John's retirement party was even more memorable with Linda's arrival with her husband and child. Dorothy, who was usually cold, couldn't help but cry when Linda hugged her and expressed how much she loves her mother. And the film ends.